How's everyone feeling today? Day 4. Look at everyone still here, the commitment after 3 days of hard training, so much knowledge. We're still here. I just love seeing the hunger and the drive to keep getting more and more knowledge. First and foremost, I want to thank Andrew and the corporate team for giving me this opportunity to share today from so many great Flushing mentors, Amber Yang, Uncle Tom, Min Lu for just their mentorship. And of course, the opportunity to represent my team, Flushadelphia. I love you guys. You guys are amazing. All right? But my name is Kevin Duong, and a quick background on myself. Prior to Market America, my background's in engineering. I started this business, my journey in entrepreneurship, back in October of 2012, so coming up on 7 years. And I came right out of college in 2012 with a degree in mechanical engineering. I thought I did everything right, had the grades. I even had a job guaranteed at a major aerospace company prior to even graduation, so I thought I was, on paper, successful. But I really had a wake-up call at a young age when I went into the corporate environment and really started to understand that trading time for money and really working for someone else and being leveraged. But the real wake-up call happened was when my father, who is a Vietnamese, came to this country in 1975 as a Vietnamese refugee, worked for the same company that I had just got hired into for 20 years of loyal service, blood, sweat, and tears, and he was laid off at the age of 63. Just a rug pulled right out from under him, and here I am, bright-eyed and bushy-tailed, 22 years old, going into this, not even the same field, the same company. So I had a wake-up call at a young age that there's no such thing as job security, and I saw that 45-year plan, and I knew that I needed a way out. And that's why I'm so grateful to Caitlin Gormley, who you just heard from, who just poured her heart out on stage, and she gave me this opportunity to put this plan B in my lap. And I thank her every single day because I saw that magic of residual income. And I was able to find a part-time business and went to work at it. And, started at age 22, was able to retire myself at age 26. And no longer don't work for anyone. And it's all because of this incredible, incredible system. But I want to rewind the clock a little bit because when I started my business, right, I remember it like it was yesterday. It was a Dunkin' Donuts on Main Street, Newark, Delaware. Right? I'm from Bear, Delaware. I doubt if anyone knows where that is. But we were sitting at a table, and it was actually Caitlin Drayton was there, right? And he's drawing out. All I remember was 100% to infinity and that residual income. I was so excited. I went home that night and was doing so much research, not like the negative kind. I was like, I need to know this is real. I saw power profiles. I knew a lot of the $1 Million Club members before I even went to my second look because I just wanted to believe, is this real? Like people actually retired and have this ongoing income. And when I started this business, I thought that this would happen overnight, that people were just going to line up, right? Easy, It's just, again, 100% to infinity, capped income. You can share volume. It's, you can build internationally, online shopping, cash back. Who wouldn't want to do this? And I quickly realized that there's some fascinating people, and it didn't take me long where I started to look like this. I thought money was going to be raining down from the sky. 002, cap one out, start second, third, fourth, and man, this is cake. But then I started to really look like this because I realized that that's not how it works. And some partners on our team had it a little harder, right? And there's a saying that if you haven't cried or wanted to quit, then you're not building the business. So, isn't that the truth? But what I didn't know when I started this business is that you don't start the business a six-figure earner, right? You have to grow into it, and you have to become a person. You have to become a $1 million, six-figure earner up here, and you have to grow into it. And that's why, again, I'm so grateful to have the mentorship that I've received because I definitely would not be standing here today if it weren't for the help and support of other people, right? But what I want to do is just share, because this isn't about me, this is really about you today, and I just want to share some experiences that I've had that I believe are some of my magic moments where I don't know if I would be standing here today had it not been for some of these experiences. And hopefully you can take something away and it impacts you and you can apply it in your life and in your business. But like talking about becoming a better person at six-figure earning, you have to build a foundation. When you're building a skyscraper, if anyone here builds skyscrapers, right, you have to lay that foundation, and a lot of that work up front is by digging that foundation, and when that skyscraper is done, you don't see the foundation underground, right? So you have to grow your mindset, books and audios. I'm so grateful that even at the age I was at to be exposed to the concept of personal development, that you can have more than you've got because you can become more than you are by associating with successful authors like Robert Kiyosaki and Dale Carnegie and John Maxwell, Brian Tracy. The list goes on and on and on to feed my brain and to leverage the decades and decades of experience that these authors have put together in book format so you can read it in a week and gain that. And I always say is that your most valuable asset is your mindset. Because when you grow that, no one can take that from you. It's yours and you own it. And so your goal, if anything, in this business is to cultivate an alliance. You have to cultivate an alliance between yourself and your mind. Because some of us out there are at war with our own mindsets, right? But not only with personal development, but also you become who you associate with. Not to sound like arrogant, but I consider myself a winner because I hang out with winners on a day-to-day basis. I surround myself with Mauricio Mercado, Vicente Serrano, Caitlin Drayton, Brett, Mark, Sean Gornick. Man, that guy is just unrelenting winner. And, my brother Richard, who's just, my ride or die in this business. But, you become the five people you surround yourself spend the most time with, right? And if you're the best person in your five, you're with the wrong five. The top 5% do things the bottom 95% won't do. This is actually me, right? And I know what you're thinking, you shouldn't be taking pictures while you're driving, right? But in Delaware, there's really not many things to hit, so it's okay. But when I was running this business, I was pretty much by myself in Delaware. There wasn't really a lot of team. Everyone was in Philadelphia, so if I wanted support or training, I would have to drive that hour trek for ABC training, coring, and a lot of times because people would work until late, have meetings, business exposures, product previews, our trainings didn't start until 9, 10, maybe sometimes 11 o'clock at night, and we wouldn't finish until midnight, 1, and this is me driving on 896 back to Bear, Delaware, and I hadn't made a single commission yet. There's not a lot going on in my business. People I sponsor quit, and I'm just asking myself, is this real? Am I going to is this going to work? Is it going to happen? But one thing I would always do, I would look out and ask myself, what do I see? And the answer was always nothing. Everyone's asleep. Everyone's waiting to wake up to go to their jobs tomorrow. No one else is doing what I'm doing. Therefore, I have to make this work. It has to work because no one else is doing what I'm doing. So if you're at that moment, just know that you have to become successful. The universe is going to make it happen because you're doing what other people aren't doing. This is one of my favorite quotes, by Thomas Jefferson. I'm a great believer in luck, and I find the harder I work, the more I have of it. I love this. I saw this at a young age, and it's just impacted me. It's tattooed into my brain, right? So, business wasn't really growing in Delaware. I'm going to get to this. Business wasn't really growing in Delaware, so I thought, I need to move to where the heat is. I need to move to Philadelphia. And a couple of our partners, we found this house in East Falls, Philadelphia. It was called Freedom Headquarters. We even had Google Maps change the name so you could look up Freedom Headquarters, Philadelphia. My house would come up. I lived with Vicente Serrano, my brother Richard, and William Olega. And I know that this house doesn't look like a lot, but you can fit a lot of partners in it. We had corings, product previews, ABC trainings 5 nights a week. And on any given week, there had to have been anywhere from 80 to 100 partners coming in. The door was always unlocked, right? But that was literally our Freedom Headquarters, our hub. We're partners. I mean, just make some noise. Sorry, but flush it up. Make some noise if you had any RPAs at Freedom Headquarters, right? We made it happen there. But there's one story in particular I want to talk about that really resembles commitment. That we had a second look, but it just so happened it was in early March of 2015, and a big snowstorm came into Philadelphia, and hotels were shutting down. Our room was canceled. But we had guests in the funnel that needed to see a second look because we had a local seminar that next week. We had Region coming up. We can't take a day off. When you're an entrepreneur, you can't take a day off, right? And the area I live in, it's really hilly. So if you need a Humvee to literally like get around on these snowy roads, but we said we need to make it happen. We had 10 guests confirmed that night, but we had to make that decision. We need to have this second look. 10 guests confirmed, only 2 showed up. But the 2 guests that showed up happened to be Steve Jean-Louis, who is a phenomenal leader on our team today, executive coordinator, and also Andrea Tinkoff, who's a senior master coordinator today, both leading phenomenal teams. But the question is, what would have happened if we canceled that HBP and we didn't have it at our house, right? There's people here today that might not even be here if we didn't zig or zag. And you have to ask yourself that question. If you're tempted to not take action, that means you have to take action. You have to do it because you might be missing out on lives that you could impact. True leadership is an all-in mindset. This is a really particular moment that was in Chinese boot camp of 2015. And this picture, this is the actual moment. I couldn't believe there was actually a picture of it, but I found it. But it was the meeting after the meeting where on Sunday evening everything was done. And my brother Richard, who was sharing, long story short, because it's a long story, but my brother has a medical background, and prior to starting his business, he was on pace to go into medical school, and he had gotten accepted. And I'd seen this guy just inspire me with his tenacity and his commitment of just never giving up, taking his MCAT over and over, and not quitting until he got in and hit his goal. But when he started building this business, he took a year off before going to school. And he was able to build a team, and he made promises to people that I'm going to build this with you, and I'm going to get you to where you want to go. But when the time came for him to decide if he was actually going to go to school, he actually pulled the plug and said, I'm not going to go. I'm going to keep the promises that I made to people and ensure that I do everything I can and go all in and help them become successful. And he might get some criticism that he's pushy or he's aggressive. But let me tell you something. When he burned that bridge, this business was it for him. There was literally no other option for him. Either build this business or he was going to be selling puka shell necklaces on the beach, right? And he burned his bridge. And honestly, he should be standing here better than me. I think he deserves this spotlight more than I do because I can guarantee you there's hundreds of, tens if not hundreds of people that would not be in this business if not for that decision he made that weekend. So, another round of applause for him. Another magic moment for me was the power of goal setting, right? And when I started the business, I set the goal for supervising coordinator October 13th, 2016. And it was an arbitrary goal. I really had no stair-step plan, I'll admit, but I just put the date down. I kind of treated it like a 4-year degree. You can graduate college in 4 years. October 13th was actually be my 4-year anniversary. It just so happened that last commission check cut on Friday, October 14th, 2016. I missed the goal by 1 day. And I saw the magic of setting a goal and actually the universe conspiring in your favor, and it just happened, and it was magical. I thought, oh my God, this actually happened. And that was, October 13th, that was actually 2016, that was the day I wanted to actually walk away from my 45-year plan. I missed it by about 8 months, because on Monday, June 12th, 2017, that's when I officially retired myself from the 45-year plan. I walked away from the Boeing company. This is actually the day that I left my job, right? Thank you, I appreciate that. And it was incredible because, it was 10 a.m. and I'll be honest, it was a Monday morning, and I had worked in an office with no windows for 5 years, and to see the sunlight on a Monday morning, I liken to that feeling, when you're a kid and that last day of school and it's summer vacation, I'm free. I don't have to come in tomorrow. I can't tell you, it's such a good feeling. People ask me, what's the first thing you did? I got a haircut. As you can see, I needed one. And I went to go prospect, because I can't wait to dive on my business. I'm full-time retired into my business now. There's no better feeling than that. So, coming in for a landing, you have to have vision. You have to believe in the impossible before you see it. And coincidentally, you actually saw this picture prior with Jen, but this picture was a magic moment for me because this was my first World Conference in 2013. There's 21 of us there. And I remember after we took this picture, I looked at it, and I just had to stand there for a good 10 minutes just looking at it, and I saw the diversity of so many people there that I can almost guarantee without this business would have never really collided paths. But because of this, now we're on this journey together. Different ethnicities, different socioeconomic backgrounds, education levels, but now we're all on the same goal, fighting for each other. And it was a magic moment for me because I really believe we have something so powerful that anyone, no matter your background, you can come in and you can be welcomed on this team if you really have a desire, and there's going to be a family to help you. You have to work for it, but we're going to fight for you 100% of the way. And I'm so proud that we've kept that value, that culture so strong even today, if not stronger, because even to this day now, we had over 250 people at our last regional event in Ocean City. Still keep fanning the flames and keeping that vision alive. But I'm just going to back up a little bit because you'll see that the common thing, the most important thing about this is that everyone's holding a ticket, right? That was the key. We had that ticket to the event. Right? And that's why it's so important for you. If you have a vision for yourself, if you want to fill an arena of your organization, impacting lives, you have to get your ticket first, and you have to secure yourself so you can impact other lives. And that's why you need to make sure that you have your ticket to Miami World Conference 2020 to take this company to the top and impact future generations, guys. So I appreciate the opportunity. I hope this